What's up, guys? It's me again, Christian Rodriguez, and today I wanted to talk about something that I've realized with myself and something that I just learned. Well, I've learned like throughout working in sales, and that's easing the burden, right, on your target customer. Not even only your target customer, but maybe a referral. Maybe you're contacting some sort of lead that maybe they're not your target customer, but they might know someone that they can refer, that they could make a referral for you, right? They could do a referral for you. And what I recommend you do in situations like this is, because I've made this mistake, right? I've made this mistake both on outreach, right, which is what I'm doing right now on social media, but I've also made this mistake on LinkedIn. I mean, on when I worked in sales in the past, right? When I worked for like the sales jobs, and that's like lowering the barrier, right? Or bringing down the price. And I'm not talking about money. When I say bring down the price, I mean make it convenient for them, right? Because humans naturally resist social friction. Social friction is not something that we like to deal with, right? So you want to like get rid of the burden, because this is something that we tend to, when we're doing sales, right? Maybe we're not as experienced, or like we're something it's not something we're used to doing. We're so preoccupied with thinking about ourselves that we don't think about the other person's perspective or the other person's shoes, right? And when you're doing sales, right, you have to think of the other person's shoes. Maybe you're doing something that's blowing the sale, and that's why you're not getting the results that you want, right? So you really have to think of, okay, what did I do? What did I say that messed with the sale, right? That blew the sale. Why did this person ignore me even though they seemed like they were interested in helping me? Like, what happened, right? And you have to think of it from your own perspective. You're not going to see it. So this is what I recommend you do, right? This is what made me realize it. I recommend you go on ChatGPT, right? And if you have you could describe it, the situation. If it's a conversation, you could screenshot it, like a text or something on like social media. I would screenshot the conversations, put it into ChatGPT, and ask it, "Hey, ChatGPT, how can you provide me feedback on this conversation? Why do you think the sale fell through or the referral fell through in this situation, even though he seemed like he wanted a done deal?" And it'll tell you right there, "Oh, it's because you created too much friction." And that's you just have to understand that humans do not like friction. Humans don't like dealing with resistance. They don't want to deal with that stuff. They want it as easy as possible for them, right? Obviously, if you're dealing with your ideal customer, you could give them a little bit more information. But if it's like a third party person, be very careful with it, right? And this is not only just for referrals, but in general in sales. You want to watch out for making it too expensive for them. And when I say expensive, once again, I mean giving them more friction, right? I'm not talking about price. I'm talking about more than price, right? If you give them friction and they have to go through all these hoops, and and you give them responsibility to remember things, and it's just going to overwhelm them, and they're not going to want to work with you, right? They're not going to want to deal with it, because you have to think about it, right? They have their own lives, and they have their own shit that they have to deal with. They have their own problems that they have to solve that you don't even know about. They probably have things that are occupying their mind, and that's just how it works. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. I appreciate you guys for watching. Um, Take care, and I hope you guys found value in this. Subscribe.